we're live.
Got it. Welcome. Today is September 19, 2021. Welcome to our weekly New Gambia platform talk show on civic education and global issues. So today we're gonna welcome New Gambia platform talk show on civic education. Can you guys hear me? Okay, because it looks like I'm hearing myself. Today, we're gonna be discussing about prevention of robbery and the theft. So we're gonna be looking at some of the issues in the Gambia when it comes to robbery, and we're gonna give some recommendations as to how it could be mitigated or could be controlled. I'm gonna open up the floor to my co-panelists, Sam Sise and Jaga, to start on this discussion. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Swanee, and thanks, Jaga, for being here as well. Good to see you, definitely.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is a great topic, and it's important because it's all about safety and security of people. When it comes to robbery is common all over the world. The bad guys are always going to go out and looking for quick cash. Wherever they can get quick cash and not work hard for it, that is something that they like to take advantage of. And in the past years, I've heard people get robbed in Gambia. People got robbed, but mostly businesses and places that have some kind of money or financial transactions getting robbed and things like that. And first things I want to say here is there are two aspects to this. I can talk about individuals, what individuals need to do, and I can talk about what businesses need to do, or people that receive some kind of money for some reason on business, for business reasons. One thing to keep in mind is robbers look for quick cash. They're looking for quick cash, and they always weigh two things: the risk versus reward. When I say risk, they know when they go to rob a place, there's a lot of risk in there. They can be killed, they can be caught and arrested and prosecuted and end up in prison for a long time, for a number of years. They can be seriously and severely injured in that robbery. They know all of this. They will be embarrassed when they get caught, and then people put them on social media and they put their face on there. They know all of that risk that's associated with robbing a place. But then they look for the reward. How much is it worth for them to take that risk? Those are the two things that they look at. So the risk versus the reward. Now, if they know, after they calculate all the risks, know what is all associated with robbery, then they ask themselves, is it worth the risk? If you're a business and you're a businessman, you open a store or shop, you sell stuff there, you earn money, and they know that you don't take your money to the bank. Your money is most likely in Gambia. That's what most people do. I discourage people very well, even individuals. I discourage people, do not keep money at home. Do not keep money in your store. Money belongs to the bank. So if they know that you keep your money at your place, you become a target. You become a target because that's a good place for them to get that quick cash. So as a result, they will make you a target. They will identify their targets, and they will go and shop around. Robbers will not go to a place that's unknown to them, a place that they don't know how to get in or how to get out if they get caught. So they will always survey the area, check the area to see that they know how to get in and how to get out quickly, and what ways to take, what are the alternative routes, just in case someone or one road get blocked, how else can they get out? They look at all this and study all of that before they hit a place. Then they come up with a target date when they're going to go, and time when they're going to hit the place. And when they go hit the place, they know what to do. Their main goal is really to get the money. That is it. They get the money. And most of the time, robbers don't go with the intention of killing someone. They just want that quick cash. The reason why people end up getting injured or get killed is because they want to prevent the robber from taking what they want. If you want to stop the robber from getting what they want, or you want to get in the way of them getting what they want, or you confront them and you're going to hurt them, they will hurt you too. So all of these creates problems for people, and we people need to know this. So number one, best preventive measure is not to keep too much cash in your place, wherever you are. Even if you're an individual, you keep money at home, and people know that you get some money at home. You get some money because you're in some kind of financial transaction, or they suspect that you have some good stuff. You become a target. All right. If you're a shop owner, the best thing is every day at the end of your business day, when you get off, take your money. I know the banks will be closed in the evening. It's best to get a safe in your place. Lock all your money in there, so the next morning when you come, you can count your money and take it to the bank. If you can do that and secure that and make your safe to be a time-sensitive safe, time-lock safe, safes that
Right.
cannot just be opened with a key one time. It takes time. It has a time on it. It has a delay in opening it. Well, robbers don't have time to stay there and wait for the 15-minute or 20-minute delay to come in. So if you have those kinds of safes, they will skip you because they don't want to wait. They want quick cash. They want to come in and hit you and get the money and go real quick. So if you have delay safe in there, if you're in business, really you want to be in business, you're a businessman, you need to be prepared for it. And to be prepared for all of that, this is part of your own safety. Get a safe that you can secure your money in. Then every day, whatever you sell in your business, when you count your money every day, leave your shop. If you have other people, other employees there, leave them in there. You go to the bank and deposit that money in the bank. There are two reasons for this. One, you're avoiding being robbed with a lot of money in there. But two, just in case of fire in your place, your money doesn't get burned out. If you take it to the bank and the bank get burned down, you still have your money in the bank. You still have your statement, and the bank owes you that money. They go pay you. But if it's in your house will get burned down. Well, guess what? You out of that money. You don't have it. And if you get robbed, whether it's in your house or at your shop, you get robbed, all of that money will be gone. If you want to resist them, they will fight you. They can stab you. They can shoot you. They can do all kinds of things. This is why even in America, we advise people. They advise people in our job. We advise people, if you get robbed, really cooperate with the robber. Give them everything they want, because your life is more important than the money that they're going to take. So save your life by giving them what they want. But at the same time, we also tell people, do not keep too much money, so that when you give them very little, if a robber comes and thinks that when they go to your store, they're going to get thousands of dollars there, and without realizing, you normally take your money to the bank, and they come in and rob you and only get $150. Do you think they will be back? No, they will not, because it's not $150 is not worth the risk of being killed or injured or even going to prison. It's not worth the risk. So less money, the more secure you're going to be. The other thing is, how do we deter robbery? Well, great lightning, to have electricity. And if we have, I know Gambia is hard to say that you will have electricity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you have electricity, it's good to have exterior lights, bright lights outside, on your street, in front of your house, outside, in the back of your house, all that. Because the brighter your area is, the less likely the bad guys want to come and hide there. They want to hide in places that are dark so people can't see them easily. Those are always, so bright lights deter robbery. And another thing I said about this is in the past is really get a dog. Get a dog or two if you can afford two. If you can get two, you can get three. Put big dogs in your home. Nighttime you go to bed, lock your gate, let them loose in the compound. Anytime a robber comes in, or bad guys with knives and cutlasses and things like that, the moment they jump the fence and land in your property, guess what? Who's going to be attacking them? The dogs. The dogs will attack them. The dogs will bite them. The noise that the dog is going to make is also what's going to wake you up, so that they don't unexpectedly show up in your room after breaking in. The dog will stop them from breaking in. You can get up, and whatever weapon you have, this is your property. Anyone that comes in there unauthorized is trespassing. If you have a gun, grab it. If you have a big cutlass, grab it. If you have a big stick, grab it. Whatever you have, grab it to protect yourself and your family, because you have every right to stand your ground. So, but having a dog or two in your property will really help stop the bad guys, because the moment they jump in, the dogs will be the first ones that's going to chase them out. And that is going to wake you up, so that one, it will prevent them from getting in there, and they will not come back, especially if they get bitten by the dog. They will never come back there knowing that there's a dog in this place. And not only that, even if they don't make any noise and try to get in, dogs have that very good sense of smell to smell their owner and smell unusual person. They will be getting up and be that guide for you. So it's very important for people to do this. And I'm going to stop here and allow you guys to take on, and then maybe we can circle back.
Thank you, Sam.
Yep.
Yeah, wonderful thoughts on that. Jaga.
Yeah.
What is your take on the robbery and then theft in the Gambia?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sam, for that insightful details. Okay, for me, I'm gonna come on the side of what is causing all these problems of these robberies and all these crimes. Like we have talked about it lots of times, when we are in a country like the employment rate or the unemployment rate is so high, and the education system is poor, and also there is no foundation for youths or people who are growing up, or the ones who are in their 20s. It will be difficult when they will eventually be in their 30s or 40s without any skill or any job or any strong education background. So those kind of because of most of the people that I see that rob places, they see it as a job. You understand? Some people they sleep the whole day, and in the night they just wake up and say that we are going for our night shift like any other ordinary job, because of it's the job that is presented to them. It's the job that they present for themselves. You understand? So that is the problem. And also our country our country's economic is declining very, very, very seriously. Poverty is the poverty rate in Gambia is getting higher and higher, even though the government is telling us something else. And as Mr. Sam Sister says, Gambia, we don't respect what we call banking. We understand. And the problem is our system. Our government should implement certain kind of things that people will understand exactly the importance of banking. You understand? You got to make them get used to it. From their early days at school, when they grew up, you try and create a dynamic, a digital system that people will get used to exactly. You understand what is the importance of banking and the importance of having credit cards or stuff like that, or mobile pay or something like that. Then when we implement those kind of system, then we will reduce cash circulating in the country. And when we do that, we will reduce the rate of robbery and the rate of stealing or stuff like that. But right now, you see businesses that keeps about millions of dollars, in their shops, or hundreds of thousands of dollars. There you encourage robbery, as Mr. Sam said. So the problem is our problems we are facing in Gambia, most of all, is our government, our states. You understand? Gambia is a very small country to organize, and with technology, we can use technology in a way that we can organize our country more, in a way that we can digitalize it. You understand? As Sam says also, electricity is very important, because of it, electricity is there. You can have the foundation to implement any technology project or stuffs or products or anything you can use just to reduce those kinds of crimes or theft. You understand? We need CCTV cameras everywhere in the Gambia, or most of the sensitive places where business are run. We need electricity everywhere to reduce some kind of things. And also, to do that, we need to empower the police. That's the problem. We need to empower the police. Either it is with logistics or raising their salaries. We have talked about it. I think that the government said that they're going to increase their salary. I don't know whether they have done it. But the most important thing they need is logistics. When it comes to logistics, transport, technology stuffs, things that they can get closer to crime at a very prompt time. You understand? If we can have those kind of things, it will reduce the rate crime, the robbery, and stuff like that. But right now, Gambia, it's very easy to do certain kind of things and get away with it, and nothing happens. You understand? It's just easy to go and rob anywhere you want to rob, and fine. It goes nowhere. Even when the police, even with their investigation, there is somewhere that they can stop because they don't have the resources to go further. You understand? Because it needs lots of things. It needs communication. It needs the police having also a direct link and this kind of, you understand, link with the population, our society. You understand? The police have to work and we have to, the government also, because of by doing that, the government also can implement in a way that, like, we all civilians living in the Gambia, we all can be a police officer in a certain way. Like when we see something going wrong or something bad or something suspicious, then we can know where to report it. But when something even is going wrong, you don't even know where to report it. What hotline? In America, in the US, there is 911. You understand? Here in Denmark, there is 112. What about Gambia? You understand? There are lines that you can access to call the police or the fire service, but people were using it to fool the police or the fire service. Now they are not taking it seriously. So that is the thing, because there are no strict rules that we can implement to change the way of things are, of how things are going on in the Gambia. So there are lots of factors that is making all these things happen every single day. And now it's like a normal thing. People just wake up in the night and go and rob. And when they rob, they do it for nothing. It's just to smoke or drink or do something stupid with it. So this is the thing, because we are not educated and we are not employed. And those kind of two things, when they meet together, it's very difficult to find a way for somebody or to find a way to make things better in a certain country like our Gambia. That is my take on it for now.
Excellent. Thank you, Njaga, for that insight. Yeah, so Sam and Njaga, so you guys think that all these robberies and these theft cases, people are stigmatizing other people and all these things, a lack of police involvement, or there lack of support for the police department.
Plus corruption, poverty, very important.
Corruption and poverty.
Yep, all of those play part in it. And I know I've released some audios about police system in the Gambia some time ago, and in that I spoke about how the police need to be equipped with vehicles and weapons and all of the stuff they need to fight crime. But robbery is something that happens even in the United States of America, where there is police force everywhere, where there's security personnel everywhere, but they still find ways to rob places. And the best way to deter robbery is to really limit the amount of cash you have in your place. You know, it's very important. Yeah, no matter where you put the police, they're going to be there, especially Gambia. And I also said this before, you know, in Gambia, you know, you have robbers that are armed robbers that are going out with guns now. As we've seen in one of the robbery cases where they went to this money transaction place or somewhere and they robbed with guns. They had weapons with them. So do you think if people call the police are going to go fight armed robbers with weapons when the police don't have anything in their hand other than a flashlight? You know, you can't go with a flashlight to fight someone with a gun. You know, they will not go. They will not do that. They're not going to get risk their life that much. Number one, they're not paid enough, and number two, they are not properly trained, and also three, they don't have the technology, the equipment they need. They need vehicles, they need weapons, they need all of that stuff to be able to protect themselves so they can protect the public. So all of these are factors. And what Njaga said too, you know, the unemployment, if people don't have any way to get money, they're going to find a way to get money. And one way or the other, they're going to either rob somebody or going to try to get money somewhere. So things like that happen. You have bad guys out there that are going to do that. You know, the best thing again is to deter robbery is to limit the amount of cash you carry, because if you limit the amount of cash you have and they rob you one time and they don't get anything other than, I gave an example of $150. Someone that's looking for thousands and thousands or even millions and they go to your place, they only got a small change. They will not come back because it's not worth the risk. But if you allow yourself to carry all of that cash in your place, in your business, and they come and hit you and get 1 million or 800,000, even 500,000, even 200,000, they will be back. They will say, this is a good place to go. We're going to give them time, another 6 months to 1 year, let them add more money together, then we'll go back and hit them, because people are not waking up to take that money to the bank. That's where it belongs. You take it to the bank, you have the record in your hand. It's better than having the cash in your hand, because what's in the bank is in the bank. Even like I said, even if the bank get destroyed and get burnt out completely to ashes, your money is still with that bank and they will still give you that money. So it's best to limit the amount of cash that you have in your hand. It's very, very important, whether it's at home or anywhere. Nobody should be carrying and keeping too much money in their houses, and no one should be carrying too much cash with you on the streets and going out with it, because if you get robbed, they will take all of that. And if you resist, that's where people get hurt. Robber is looking for quick cash. This person is on drugs. They want money. They don't have anything to buy the drugs with. They're addicted to it. They want to get the money. So it's worth killing someone to get that money. That's the way to look at it. So limit the amount of money you have with you. So when they rob you, you give them that $10 that you have. Let them go and leave you alone in your peace. It's better than trying to fight them and they hurt you, because they will kill you just to get your money. That's what they do. So people need to be aware of all of these and carry less money. And in my civil service reform, I made a video about comprehensive civil service reform. Hopefully the government will listen to that. It's on Facebook. And in that comprehensive civil service reform, I also said that the government will go from cash to electronic funds transfer. Everything will be electronic funds transfer. Even people's paycheck will be all direct deposit to their bank account. Nobody will have. There's not going to be any paymaster going around paying people money. No, there's not going to be any money going around in people's hands. Everything will be in the bank. You wake up, it's payday, midnight that night, your money is already in your bank account. You go to your ATM or your bank, you take out just what you need, not the whole amount. That way you protect yourself. All of this, there's a lot of things. And of course, infrastructure is very important. Not having a good infrastructure where you have proper electricity and all of that, high-speed internet, because if you have high-speed internet, and I also mentioned this in another audio or video, I'm not sure, but especially audios, because I've been doing that for a long time now. Security is very important. The police can sit at places in their offices and monitor certain areas, certain places with security cameras. Just like you said, CCTV, I just say security cameras. You can monitor security cameras and see what is happening everywhere. You can even catch people committing a crime with security cameras. It's very, very important. Technology is important. We need to get there, even though we're not quite there. We're not there yet, but we really need to get there, because if you think about it, in America here, I have security camera. I just do this for fun. I install security cameras at my house. I did it at my old house. When I sold that house, I sold it with it. And I bought another one and I put security cameras in there. And I can use my cell phone. Even if I go 8 hours flight from here, I can, every time somebody steps at my door, it sends a notification to my cell phone. I can see who is at my door. When my kids go out in the morning at 8:30 in the morning, when my last kid goes out to go to the bus, 8:30 in the morning, I can see my kid walking out, going to get on the bus. I can see all of that. Security cameras is really helpful, but it all works when technology is in place. So infrastructure is also important and plays part.
Yeah, thank you, Sam, for that.
And
I think both of you have nailed very good points when it comes to robbery prevention and theft. And I just want to add maybe a few things to it, just to kind of spice it up. One would be cashless transaction, money transaction. As you see now, technology has evolved, and I'm glad you guys have spoken about technology. There are a lot of new devices, new ways where payment can be made through cell phones, electronically. You can use debit card. You can use credit cards. I think these are things that our people need to get used to now to mitigate robbery. If you could remember, I don't know if it happens to some of you guys, but you're going to take public transportation from Serekunda to Banjul. You know, if you have your cash in your pocket, sometime during the pull and push, time when people are trying to get in the vehicle, there are some folks who come with some kind of magnet, some kind of this thing that they will put next to your pocket when they see that your pocket is has little bit money in it, and then that will kind of dissolve your pocket and your money will fall. Asibo, they call it asibo. That was a common use tool that the thieves used to do. They will make themselves like they are going inside the car, inside the vehicle, right? And then once they see you and read you and say Sam looks like he's carrying some money, they will come next to you and then try to push themselves in. During that process, they will put the asibo on your pants where the money is, and your money will fall, and then they will grab it. You wouldn't know until you get into the car and then the driver started asking for fare. Usually, when that happens and you try to put your hand in your pocket, then you see an empty hole, and then some people started getting going mad because sometimes you don't even know how much money you have in that pocket. So because all this is because people carry money, they see that as the only options. So I think what we should have some system upgrade in our country whereby we have debit system like available at many spots, and also some of the shopkeepers and some of the businesses have debits and credit card system whereby people can now use cash-free transaction, make it readily available for them. In that case, I think robbery will really scale down, because once there's limited cash flow, cash movement, then you're making it harder for them. And then in case they even intercept your credit card, or probably they steal your credit card, you can call the company and then they can put a stop to it immediately, so that this person will not even use those cards. So there are other security attached to this kind of operation that our government, our businesses need to look at. We need to invest in technology to create this and making people believe it is a very safe way, because it's happening a lot here in the West. I barely couldn't remember when I do carry cash on the street. Trust me. I mean, like, in fact, if I don't carry cash, it even make me to spend less. But if I carry cash, maybe somebody can ask me, or I can meet it with a griot next to my door, and then the next thing is the $20 or $30 I have in my pocket will be gone. But if I have a card, then I say, oh my goodness, I don't have any cash with me. That gives me an excuse to undercut that spending. So it's a very good, a lot of good things attached to cashless transaction. And I encourage our government to allow businesses to invest in these banks and so forth, and we sensitize our general public about the safety of it, and also the fact that it's easier, and then it can prevent a lot of things, and also it helps you track down your finances. If you use cards to do businesses, it's easier to go to your credit card report or to your transactional report every month, and then download it and then see how much transactions you have actually contained. So if let's for instance you are buying food every day from the card, at the end of the month you will definitely know and track how much money you have spent on the dawal. So because everything is registered on a special place. So I just want to touch on that area, but that would help in theft prevention and also robbery.
Like this kind of things, I'm into IT. I know exactly this stuff, how it works, and it is not difficult. We just need a couple of millions and a strategic government. You understand? That's why I also talked about education. Like in our education system, we should form people. We should train people. We should try and find this kind because of we have geniuses in our Gambia. Where they end up at the streets. Because of they had no motivation, they had no help, they don't have anybody who can organize them and give them a project or put them on the right path. But we have people in Gambia, young people who can do everything that we are talking about here. I know exactly what I'm saying. You understand? So the problem is our government. We need to have an insightful government, a government that can track down people or young people who they know that they are something or they are smart, and try and build a future for them so that they will be the one creating this kind of softwares and hardwares. It's very easy. We just need a couple of millions and a strategic way to put together our some people who can sit in one place and create softwares and hardwares that we need. It's not difficult. We don't need to produce the raw materials. It can be imported from outside. It's just a couple of millions. You understand? You do it and you will have people who will assemble it. We just need a stable electricity and a good, you understand, internet system. When we have that, it will be very easy to implement, to digitalize our country. Gambia is not a big country. You understand? You have people sit down with their phones. Like me or some other, they can do crazy things with their phones. They can access anywhere they want to access. They can access any Wi-Fi passport or Wi-Fi router or stuff like that. You understand? They can access any CCTV camera, stuff like that. So we have people who can do certain kind of things that can take our country forward and that can reduce such kind of things. But the problem is we have a government who doesn't pay attention to such kinds of things. Here in Europe, in Denmark, everything that is digitalized in this country, most of it's created by students, from the university or the college, or some even from high school. Denmark is the most digitalized country in Europe. Everything. Now, I'm not talking about cash. You don't even need to carry your credit card. You can even leave your credit card back home. You understand? All those things. Sometimes I really feel jealous, because it's not something that is big. It's not, it's not something that is mind-blowing or, it's not something, how they say it, like a rocket science. No, it's easy. You just need a couple of millions. You buy the raw materials, you find people who can assemble it and try and have a stable electricity and stable internet service provider. Then you can link all the police stations. And when you link all the police stations through technology, then you control the Gambia. You link everywhere then. You understand? Because by linking all the police stations, then from there, you know exactly, because of every police station, every sector can be linked to a police station. And by doing that from every sector, you understand, then it will reduce crime rate and it will give the police more insight of what is going on in our country. And what annoys me is that all these things we are talking about, it is not something that is difficult. You understand? Our government are wasting millions of millions, much more worth than what we are talking about right now to digitalize our country. And by doing that also, we have another task, because of people need to be sensitized, because of there are some people who have never gone to school, who don't know how to operate a smartphone. Only they can only use WhatsApp or take a picture or a video, a selfie like that. How can you make them used to using those kind of technology stuff? That's another problem. And Gambia, how I see it, like Gambia, half of our population or 3/4 of our population cannot read or write. Half of our population cannot read or write. They don't understand how these things work. Here in Europe, they can understand how things work because of all of them are wise and educated since from nursery school. They are given all these privileges, all this access to all this. They have been given access to technology since they were 1 year old. You understand? So how can you turn this kind of situation and digitalize the country? So it feels like it will take another generation. I don't know whether I'm saying is right or not, but how I see things, it will be only difficult to about the civil servants, people who are working or having money in the government, and there are people having their paycheck from the bank or having their pays transferred to the bank still now in Gambia, but it's just maybe let's say 10% of the Gambian population or 15% of the Gambian population. So what about the rest who have never been employed, who have never gone to school, who don't know how the bank works, how the system works? So how can you sensitize them? So that's also is another problem, I don't know exactly. So it's kind of complicated to find a way to fix things in Gambia for how I say it.
Yeah. Thanks, Njaga. Yeah, definitely. And that's why I said this is a step by step.
Yeah.
It's different phases. And I said certain things like that in my comprehensive civil service reform too.
Okay.
Because it's what you're saying is great to get there, but we don't have the people that know how.
How?
Yeah, they don't know how. So
how are you gonna get there if you
exactly. So we're here talking about technology when we have people in the system that even we even have police officers in the system that even cannot write a good police report. Okay. So let alone
exactly.
if you give them a computer.
I can give you examples.
So there is a lot of stuff. That's why we need to take a step back and do one thing at a time. And like you said, you're correct on that. You said, maybe next generation. You're right. It may be next generation, but it needs to start now. Something needs to start now. So we can keep going and build onto that. You start something, you build the next level, then go to the next level. Everything has to be strategically planned so that this comes before that, and try not to put the cart before the horse, because it will not work that way. So all of those things you need, our government need those what do we call technocrats and entrepreneurs and people that are going to think that way and think outside of the box and think people that have traveled and see what's happening in the world. And because for us, when we leave here and we go to Gambia, we see how things are back in Gambia. We know we are way behind time, way behind time. So, and we always wish that our country also has the same thing. That's why we're here. That's why we're sitting here talking about all this.
Exactly.
We want the same thing for our country. We know what is happening in the U.S. and Europe, and other countries, right? Overseas. So it all comes to the people that know how, and I don't see very many people in this government that know how. And that's part of our problem, that's part of our problem, and not only this government, even previous governments, we didn't have the people that know how. And that's why we need a system change, a whole system change, and bring in people that know how so they can get you the way you need to be. In fact, one of the fundamental key elements of a good economy for any country is to really have a good educated labor force. If you have an educated labor force, that labor force are the people that are going to make the difference. You're going to have technocrats. You're going to have people thinking outside the box and creating something, getting the country to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. And before you know it, before we say the next 10 years, we will be way ahead of the game. We will be, at least, we're not going to be close to the Western world, but we'll be close enough that a lot of things we can call history, So there's a lot of work that need to be done in Gambia, for sure. It just need to be strategized by having the right people in there.
And the right places,
and right places that are going to think that way and help our country move forward. That's what we need. But we are way behind time, and when it comes to security issues, when it comes to security issues and robbery that we're talking about here, it's very important for people to understand that, and carry less cash in your pocket. You will be less vulnerable. The more cash, or the more you fill your pocket, the more you hold a nice briefcase or big bags. People think is money, even if they don't know, even if it's full of diapers. Kids' diapers, they're gonna think it's money in there. You make yourself vulnerable, and that's what people like to do in Gambia. You know, a lot of people are vulnerable. They carry a lot of cash with them and they get robbed, and or people just steal their money right in the daylight, broad late, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just like Sawana was talking. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, people can reach into your pocket and steal your stuff. Well, if you leave your pocket empty, well, guess what? When they put their hands in there, they're not going to get anything. And that's the way it needs to be. So we need to really bring the awareness to people to carry less cash. Less cash, you'll be less vulnerable. Businesses, don't keep cash in your place. Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank every day. You come to work, you count your money, you take it to the bank and secure it there. And
the problem is some people is because of the tax. Hey, you know, in Gambia, that's the problem. Because of the tax, that's why they don't want to pay tax. That's why they are not taking their money to the bank.
Well, they are already paying. I mean, the area council is going around and collecting duties from them. They're paying something, you know. I mean, yes, tax is something that everybody has to pay. Wherever you go, you can't escape tax from Gambia. If you come to America, you go pay taxes. You go to Denmark, you go pay taxes. You go to Germany, you go pay taxes. Anywhere you go, so why not pay your taxes in Gambia? You know, so
that is like everything like can be negotiated.
Yes, yes.
That's our country. Everything can be negotiated.
Everything can be negotiated. Well, we should move away from that and go to strategic and consistent operation consistently. Yeah, that's consistency is very important in anything. Otherwise, it falls apart. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's one thing that we.
One question about his your security, your national security reform. It's like I think that also the police and the army are taking the recruits. I think now it is time for us to change things. It is time for them to require certain kind of qualifications from the one they take into their training schools. And also when they take them to their training schools, why can't they implement technology there? Because of like, as you said, most of the police officers, it's not about they can write, they can even use Microsoft Word, Excel or something like that. You understand? So what is the PTS doing, the police training school or the army training school or things like that? Why can't they implement technology in it, trying to find people who have good graduation from grade 12 instead of like receiving dropouts or whoever want to be a police officer? So that's also a problem.
Yep. That is the structure. That's why we need a whole internal security reform. And in the reform, I know some people talk about reform, security reform, but there is a lot that can be done in the security reform. Yeah. And in Gambia, when they say reform, is they're thinking out, okay, get so-and-so out and put so-and-so there. Get so-and-so out, put so-and-so. Well, yeah. if you get a banana out and you put an apple there and that apple cannot still function like a banana, you still back to zero. You know, you need to be strategic in what we do. So tools and technology is very important. The structure that they have in Gambia is not good. That's why in the police training academy, they are not training them to do all of that. And these are things that they could be doing. They could be a lot of reform in Gambia from the police training school, the army training, all the way to the field. And even not only we need to provide them vehicles and weapons, they can use horses, they can use bicycles, they can use motorcycles. They just need to provide them the tools and technology they need. So police are all over the place. Everywhere you go, you see police presence. That also helps deter robbery. You know, the street I live on right now, you know, if I get out of my front door, one house on the right, second one is a police officer. If I go out right now, there's a police car sitting out there. Across the street from from her is a police woman. Across the street from her, the house next to that one is a police officer with a K9. Do you think anybody will be stupid enough to come and rob anybody in this area? No, you won't, because there's police presence here. You come here every evening, every night, you're going to see a police car on my street right here. So you're going to stay away from here. So police presence, having all those vehicles for police officers to go with them in their places, park them on the streets, you know, have police motorcycles, bicycles, and walkie-talkies. Give them weapons. Give them all. When there is something in the country or in town, even Serakunda market area, we should be seeing police officers on top of horses, walking around day and night, looking at different places. You know, patrolling. They can do all that and deter robbery. on bicycles. There should be someone patrols on bicycles that they can ride their bicycles different areas. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Gambia needs to do. And unfortunately, we're not there yet. And someone has to start. The person that has to start is the person that has the mindset, that knows how, and also employ people that know how, not people that don't know anything about this. It's not going to take us anywhere. And that's part of our problem.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. I think you guys have talking. I think you guys are making me even, coming with more ideas when it comes to this topic. So having the police present is very important, and it's a deterrent, of course, and also community policing. The police presence, they need to work with the community. If the police have a good relationship with the community become also like a police, because the community will be feeding the police, and then it will make their job easier. So the community neighborhood watch communities should be established across the board. The Gambian, we should have, voluntary organizations who are ready to, to kind of tackle crime issues, not actually disciplining the crimes, but at least getting the intelligence, getting the information, and the law enforcement. See, intelligence is everything. Usually intelligence can prevent, crimes, and then crimes taking place, especially robbery and theft. Intelligence will give ahead of time what is about to occur. So it is highly important that we get the community involved, and the people in the community are comfortable with the police and knowing that they are there to help the police. If they have these community groups working directly, they know the community even much better than the police. So they can give them information about, what has happened around the neighborhood, not only even about robbery, but it could be even about, other violent crimes that, that could involve fighting, and then, family feud and all those things. So it is a lot to be done in the Gambia. We have the tendency of police going to the station, sitting there, talking all day, drinking a tire. That's not policing. Policing, you have to be proactive. Like you said, the resources need to be provided for them. And then I like the idea that Sam was suggesting, having horses, even a bicycle, motorcade, and then even to motorcade, bicycles to patrol the street. It doesn't have to be car, because cars cannot go everywhere. So there are, especially in the Gambia, with the way our internal streets are, and then how defective our roads are. You probably would need even a bicycle or something to be patrolling around those areas. But as long as you are in a police uniform, and then you are patrolling, in any of those, using any of those tools, will be great. It will be great access to make police presence felt, and then that would really deter crimes. And also, we need to understand that all this stealing we are seeing stem from the economical situation. Our people are not getting fed. See, when people are hungry, they will do something, even if it is unethical, even if it is wrong. So I'm not saying that, Gambians, we have pride. Definitely, our people have pride. Unless it is a foreigner who comes to the Gambia trying to make ends meet by stealing, most Gambians would rather, if they find a way, they would do that than to go and steal. And most of the people we have been seeing in the videos going and robbing people, scratching their body, and what kind of languages they see, most of them perhaps are not even Gambians. See, so they're breaking into people's house, because some of them are foreigners. They came and they cannot make ends meet, so they had to do these illegal things. So I think what we have to emphasize here is to at least the average Gambians be given an opportunity. If our people don't have a job, definitely there will be some misconduct in the way they do their things because they have to live. Some of them have to have kids and so forth. So our government should be focusing on creating loopholes with businesses, give business incentive, tax cuts to make sure that jobs are created, especially for our youths, so that they will not get involved in this robbery. Because you don't usually see older people, going and rob people. Usually the youths who are energetic, who thinks they can get away with it, and who thinks like, who are not thinking right. So we need to do that. And then somebody also mentioned about drugs. I think drugs has also to do with these robberies as well. When people are involved in drugs, like the way Gambia is now, it's rampant everywhere. We've been drugs have been missing, guns have been getting into the country. Since 2016, we have seen a lot of things happening, especially when it comes to drugs and guns. So all these things will open holes for people to steal. When Sam mentioned like armed robbery, and then even some of these people going to steal sometimes do carry guns. It comes to my surprise. A country like Ghana, somebody would be having a gun in doing such an operation. That is really scary. And we are such a peaceful country years ago, and all of a sudden we turn out to be something else. So all these things, encourage this robbery. And then again, people are so paranoid about their properties nowadays that they can't even go to sleep. You go out with your cell phone, they snatch it from you. I was sitting next to someone driving from Banyu to Serekunda. I couldn't see my phone. That was 2019. And when I called my phone, and the person who picked it up said, "Bro, you know." Ako niya ko ito ya bedembul. Kaya ko what? Ako niya ko yeah. Bro, come on, nyintun fanambul. Like if he knows that I have tons of cell phones also. Kaya ko bro, bari telephone na telephone din ako niya hani nyintun fanambul abedembul. So what should I do? I mean, like, I'm gonna go after that person? No. So that's the thing. So we have to really, our country needs help. We need to make sure that our leaders are really delivering. Because without that, I'm telling you, robberies will just be mounting. I've seen a friend who came from US, went for vacation. The next thing you know, I mean, his son's home where he resides, or the robbery folks came there and took everything. And when the guys caught the guy, he sent me the video. I mean, you can see how pathetic the whole thing is. Empty the whole place. They end up cutting the guy. He told me that if I don't think about my religion, I would have killed this guy. So it's so much, people are going through so much when it comes to robbery and theft. And like Sam is suggesting, having dogs and all these things are important. But I think we need to upgrade our lives. Lives need to, cost of goods needs to come down. Pay scales need to go up. It's a combination of other things. And of course, we need to punish, people who steal. Because if you see Saudi Arabia, people stop stealing. They used to cut their hands. They implement Sharia law. You can leave your shop open and go, and yet still, people will not get in there. Because why? They started cutting people's hands. So if you punish stealing, I'm not saying to do that in the Gambia, but if you started putting people into jail, you started, punishing them. We started being tough on stealing, on crimes. I'm telling you, this thing will come down. So that's another thing that we need to consider. But we make sure that, due process are applied. Let the people don't take the laws on their own hand when when they get it, when they catch a thief and then beat him to death. That is wrong. We shouldn't be taking the law in our own hand. Everybody should be given a due process according to the law. And then if they are guilty, they are taken to court. I mean, they're taken to jail. That is the way it should. Yeah. So I'll let you guys, have your final take on this.
Yeah, my final words will be like, I'm just going back to the security reform. As Sam said, we need to control our borders more because of most of this. Like when we come to a certain point that now robbers are using guns, then we can say that it's not from the Gambia. It came from outside. Either the Gambians are using it or not, but the guns didn't come from the Gambia. And most of it, I can tell you that they may not be even Gambia because we have a time that most of the robberies, were caused by these sources of stuff like that. They can come and take, break in anywhere they want to break in. Though Gambians are robbing, but Gambians are not that when it comes to certain kinds of stuff like that. So our borders, like just look at our border to Senegal or something like that. Yeah, you can go in and come out anywhere you want to go in. In Senegal, you can go in anytime without even passing the border, the control post at the border. You'll understand. You can go through the trees, through the bush, and enter Senegal or enter Gambia anytime you want. You understand, day or night. So those kind of things that like anything can, like Gambia is turning into a safe haven for criminals. You understand? Gambia is turning into a safe haven for criminals because of like you can enter the Gambia anytime you want. So I think that we need more help with the security and also more help from the government also to help us like develop the Gambia in a way that like it will reduce like robbery or crimes, though it is everywhere as Sam said, but it can be reduced in a way when we reform our security sector and also at the same time try and introduce a cashless country, though it won't be easy to digitalize in the country because of you have to fix lots of things, lots of aspects in it that you have to fix. It won't be easy. It may take a generation, but if we start somewhere, we will eventually reach there. So it's just to start somewhere and trying to find a solution. We will eventually reach there. Rome was never made in one day. Everything that is happening here in Europe or America was introduced years ago, a generation before, for people to get used to it, to know it, and to know how to use it. That's why today it is easier. That's the same thing we should do. It's never too late to start, but we have to make things better.
Yeah.
Yep, very true, very true, very true. Yep. Thanks, Njaga, and thanks, Mr. Swane, too. So thank you both. You both said very important things. This is a collective thing, and for our government, that's why I always say any government, since Gambia has been behind, way too far behind time, we need to make sure that we don't allow any precedent to come in and rule us forever, especially when they're not going to do what we need them to do. So we need to get any president we get in from now on, we need to put them in. If we vote for them and elect them democratically through the Constitution, we allow them to serve their five years. In that first 5 years, if they can't make any changes, they can't do anything that we need them to do, not what they want to do. No, we want them to do what we want them to do. Okay, people elected the president to be there. When people elect a president and put him in place, that president needs to do what the people need, not what he wants, not what is his future, and not what is for his legacy. It should be for what is good for Gambia. If we cannot have anybody, or if we select a president and put him in there and they are not focusing on what is good for Gambia, we need to get them out. We just don't give them a vote a second time. Just elect somebody else. Let's try somebody. We will be lucky to have someone that will do the right things for Gambia, and we can turn around after their first term and give them another vote for a second term. Let that person continue because they're developing the country and we are heading in the right direction. That's what we need. Otherwise, one term for every president that comes in, If they do well, we keep them there for the second term, and that is their final term. No 3 terms for any president. We need to get that out of the way. Just 2 terms should be the maximum. So if we do that, that will help us. That will make everyone that comes to that office work for the people and do what is right for the country and not just pick what they want to do. All right, the second part is, yes, security reform is really way overdue. There's a lot of things that can happen. And Jagger mentioned the borders too. I've once talked about this too. There was a time I made a proposal that in every border that we have with Senegal, we need to have an army camp, immigration office, police office, customs, drug enforcement, all in one building. All of them there, all in the same area. And they will have their jurisdiction from mile marker 7 all the way to mile marker 24. That's yours. They patrol all of these. And that is their responsibility to make sure anyone that crosses that border get apprehended, and they question their person, but they also search them to make sure drugs or weapons don't enter our country. And make sure that they also people that have the right documentation, so visas or anything that allows them to, or lesser pass, or whatever we will call them, that will allow them to enter the country. If they don't have them, send them back. This is how you stop the criminals. If we have those borders all over the Gambia, in every area that we have people crossing, it would have stopped quite a bit. It will stop quite a bit. In fact, during voter registration, we would not, if we had that in place, we wouldn't see people coming across to come to get voters card from Gambia, because immigration will do their job and stop them and send them back. You know, same thing when it comes to election. Immigration will stand up and do their job and send them back. Stop people from entering our country and send them back. So there's a lot of security reform that need to happen. And there's so much into the security reform that need to happen to be able to protect our country. And that should be our focus, you know, for when it comes to security reform. It's very, very important for our country. And again, there's just a lot to do. There's a lot to do in very limited time. And we don't have time to waste. We need to get the right people in the office to do the right thing for us. If not, get them out. That's what I say. Just get them out of there. Don't give them your vote again, you know, because giving them your vote again, you're empowering them to continue on their route to do what they want for themselves, to make themselves richer, more famous, popular, and destroy our country, when the rest of the people, the majority of the people, continue to suffer in poverty. And that's not fair.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. Any final thought for anyone before we wrap?
For me, it's been so good coming back here again, and it's like it's very insightful and it's very important. Talking about our security and what is like aggravating things like that sometimes. So, and I'm very happy to be back. And I've learned a lot from a lot what you have said. And as you said about those, when we have like, we just need a big building. Like when we have all those security sectors in one building, then the places that they can reach, we can have infrared signals there, that anything that crosses there, you understand, will send an infrared direct to the office that there is something, either it is an animal or a human being or whatever. So it will make them like concentrate more on what is coming in our Gambia, and that is very important. So I hope that they will be hearing this and it will be implemented, because it is what happens on every border. Have the police, the immigration, the drug squad, and things like that, so that anything that happens, there is somebody or there is a sector that can go and take care of that. So I hope that they will be listening and they will try and help us with that. Because it's not something that's difficult. It's not easy. You just have to, the resources that they are putting in places that are unnecessary or that doesn't even have an impact in our country. Those are the resources that is put in some things that will help us make a better country. And I thank you all, Sawane and Mr. Sise, and Sawane get well soon.
Yeah,
thank you, Njaga, and thank you, Mr. Sawane. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, definitely, it is very. It's really very. The discussions are very, very important, and I hope our viewers will have a good takeaway. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you all. Yep.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. All right.